Hi, and welcome to another episode of Live and Let. In today's episode, we are going to see something that looks like that. What is it? Well, it's pottery, my friends. Pottery is that art form that not many people know a lot about, but my really good friend Gunjan here, she has mastered that art and she holds her own exhibitions. It looks like a very difficult art form, but according to her, it's really doable and she has some tips and tricks for you. So thank you for coming on to the show, Gunjan.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and thank you for that introduction. I don't think I've mastered the art or I ever will, but I love the medium. So I'm so glad I can share a few tidbits and just, this medium of art in general. Thanks for inviting me. So here, I'm going to just do a small project in clay, and let me just talk a little bit about what are some of the tools or what are some of the supplies around you in the house that you can use to get started. Basically, you need a surface which is sturdy and dry. I have an old rolling pin. It's extremely important to know that you need to knead clay before you start working on it, and the easiest surface to knead it on is this thin canvas board. I have some old tools that I've had for years now. These are very helpful to carve, to cut, to make textures, and of course there's some tools at home that you will not know or you may not think about, but for example this old protractor from a geometry set that we have at home, or an old card. My favorite tools are those that are derived directly from nature, and a lot of the work that I do is also inspired by nature. But so just to give you an example, there's a dried leaf that I picked out from the yard, a pine cone, a small twig from the evergreen tree in the yard. I just picked it up randomly right now. I'm going to use it to show how we can use pretty much anything around us to build texture and enhance a form that you might be working on. You can get clay from a lot of places, from online chains or a warehouse near you. This clay is wet. It comes exactly like this in a box or a bag. What I would definitely recommend is once you start working with clay, every time you get some clay out, make sure you clip the remaining bag so that it doesn't get dry. You knead it a little bit only so that if there's any air bubbles in the clay, they get released. So I needed a small ball of clay just to get started. We'll do a quick small project to get started with. I just created a quick leaf form, just did different types of textures. So in this case, I just wanted to talk about this particular stage of the clay. This stage of clay, when it's semi-dry, it's not as soft as it was when I got it out of the bag, but it's not completely dry. It just feels pretty much like leather, and that's why this stage of clay is called leather hard. At this point, it's easy to mold the clay without it flopping right back. This is also a good stage of the clay to cut. It's very, very important to realize when you create your project, just take a look at it. Know that anything that looks even this sharp is going to be much sharper when it gets fired. Okay. So use just water to smoothen out any edges. I'm going to use these coils to make two different objects, and then I will talk about how you can join any objects in clay to add to the dimension of the form that you're creating. I'm just going to wet the surface, serrate the edges that I want to join. Okay, in this case I'm going to create a coil coin. The serrated edges and the water is enough to join any clay bodies. Now let's say, just to kind of think aloud with an idea, I created a slab and I want to create a wall around the slab to make a little cup, right? I will need to join these onto the slab and I will need to join these two to each other. It's the same technique. So we've created a form in clay. Now what? There are basically two ways to go about it. If you are absolute beginners, you do get air drying clays in the market. That might be a good place to start because it's quicker to finish a project. The only caveat though is that with air drying clay, you have to work really fast because clearly, like the name says, that clay dries very quickly. So the more you handle it, the faster it dries out. So have some idea in your mind in terms of what you want to create and try your air drying clay. My favorite way and the only way that I work in is the slightly longer process of getting your work fired in a kiln. Now with the type of clay that I use, being stoneware clay, it needs to be fired and it needs to be glazed. When I say fired, this needs to be just air dried. It'll be very brittle, but that needs to go into the kiln. Once it gets fired in the kiln once, that's called a bisque fired piece. Once this is bisque fired, I need to apply glaze and fire it again, and that's when you get a finished product which can be food safe, oven safe, dishwasher safe. So that's a long drawn process, but it has a lot more functional use.
This looks like finished product, so can you tell us something about that?
Sure, I just picked out a few of my old work just to demonstrate some combinations or what some end products can look like. But this is an example of how you can combine techniques. It's a simple bowl that I threw at the wheel, and all I did was with a knife, I just cut little strips. I just kind of made cuts at the edge of the bowl, and when it was leather hard, and I'm sure all of you get that stage now. So when the clay is leather hard, all I did was with those strips, I rolled the edges. With stoneware, the medium I work in, all of this is food safe. All of this can be put into the microwave, into the oven, into the dishwasher. So it has a different charm when you build something that you can actually use in various ways. This is another combination of the same thing. I wanted to kind of show this for the texture. This one here, inspired by a baseball, wanted to actually create the same leather stitched look.
Wow.
All I did, again, just to quickly talk about how I did it, is this was actually a bowl on the wheel.
Okay.
I used use any flat, like a bat shaped tool, a ruler even, to just tap it. So when the wheel form is leather hard, tap it to make it into a square, and then simply use a tool to draw a line and draw horizontal edges. With clay, the beauty is that you don't need to waste even a small ball of clay. So with a lot of the scrap clay that I have, I try and soak it overnight, reuse it to build just small shapes and forms. This is just a quick example of a leaf that I made using scrap clay. This is a little seahorse. I just used some permanent glue to mount it on a small canvas board.
Sweet.
This is a different use of the same scrap of clay. I used a wooden mirror, and just using permanent glue, used some flowers and leaves to create just a little unique touch to a plain old mirror board.
Wow, Gunjan, thank you so much for showing us how the pottery is done, right from the clay form up until how the finished product looks, what tools are used, and you explained everything so wonderfully. And thank you so much for coming on to the show, and I hope it is useful for people who are trying to learn pottery as a new art in them, and they will watch this video and make use of your information and useful tips that you said.
I hope so too. I think the trick is to just keep at it. I'm sure you'll love what comes out of it. I love it as a medium. It's almost meditation for me now. So I hope more people like it as an art medium to explore.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So guys, thank you for watching as usual, and until we meet next time, see you.